This plane has been flying for 5 years. The passengers thought it was just a normal 3-hour flight. The passengers' families thought something had happened to them. Suddenly, one day, the captain, as usual, contacted the ground tower to request a landing, but the tower was shocked to hear it was flight 828. Then they double-checked with the captain. They even asked for the captain's name and the number of passengers. After getting a positive answer from the captain, they were finally allowed to land, but only at an alternate airport in the middle of nowhere. When all the passengers got off the plane, they weren't greeted by friends and family. They were greeted by a large contingent of police and investigators. The passengers were stunned. A woman, Mary, asked the man in charge, Jason, what's going on? Why they weren't allowed to go home? And Jason stroked his hair and replied, the plane you were on took off on the 17th of April 2013, but the time now is the 14th of November 2018. You've all been missing for 5.5 years. You've been presumed dead, and now you're back alive. It's unbelievable, but everyone is confused because for them, it's only a 3-hour flight. How could you have been up there for 5 years? All the passengers couldn't believe it. Then Jason detained the strange plane, including all the passengers, and questioned them all, even the children, but all the answers were the same. They said there was nothing special going on. It's just that they were caught in a strong turbulence. After a sharp bump, the plane, then it returned to normal. Everyone was held for 36 hours before the passengers' families arrived. They were pressures. Jason released everyone. They saw their disappeared loved ones coming back. They embraced each other. They cried tears of joy. The last 5 years changed a lot of things. Mary's brother David looked at how much his wife had aged. He couldn't imagine what he'd missed. Her daughter, who was 7 years old, is now a young woman. Her son, who has leukemia, when he sees his twin sister, but hides in shame. Mary asked her father why her mother hadn't come, and he told him that her mother was seriously ill. She had been dead for 2 years. Until then, they believed they had really disappeared for 5 years. After everyone left, the special events unit stepped in to investigate. They want to know the truth, solve the mystery. Why did the plane fly for 5 years without refueling, and none of passengers have aged? Is this a deliberate plan, or is it the natural world? With these questions, they launched an investigation. However, these passengers returned home safely. They discovered that they had the ability to foresee the future on the weird bus. This woman's ears rang with a strange voice. I thought were you? And the voice is exactly the same as her own. The woman warned the driver to slow down, but the driver didn't pay any attention. He even scolded the woman. She didn't need him to teach her how to drive, but the next moment, the woman, Mary, couldn't control herself any longer. She yelled at the driver to stop. The driver heard Mary's yelling, slammed on the brakes, and unexpectedly saved the little boy who rushed to the front of the bus to pick up a balloon. The driver couldn't believe his eyes, but who was prompting Mary?